Hi, I'm Mungo.
And I'm Lindsay Heyman. Welcome to the Monday Night Roar.
Thanks for tuning in. We have your latest news, entertainment, and sports.
All that and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar.
A suicide bombing in Baghdad yesterday is the latest in a string of attacks on Shia mosques in the city over the past few weeks. Yesterday's attack left 21 people dead and 25 injured, according to Baghdad police. So far, there's not been a claim of responsibility, but ISIS is believed to be behind the attack. ISIS has been accused of attacking and killing many Shiites in the areas under its control. The Shiites, for those of you who don't know, are the second largest denomination of Islam.
Italian mayors are going against the Italian government to take a stand for same-sex marriage. Rome Mayor Ignazio Marino is the latest mayor to record same-sex marriages, as he oversaw 16 marriages this past Saturday. Although Italian Parliament has been under orders to recognize same-sex marriage since 2010, members of the Italian government, particularly Interior Minister Angelino Alfano, have blocked the progress. The government remains split on the issue, so we'll have to wait and see which side will win out.
Good news, everyone! Nigeria has been declared Ebola-free earlier today after thousands of officials and volunteers ended the outbreak of the disease in the country. This means that Ebola can be contained and possibly eradicated. The next step in the fight against Ebola is to rid all of West Africa of the disease as well, since that is where the disease is most prominent.
There have been no new found cases of the virus in 42 days. This is a huge success for Africa's most populated country. This gives hope that the other countries hit particularly hard by Ebola, including Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, will soon have similar successes in the not-too-far future.
Meanwhile, the protests in Hong Kong, China, also known as the Umbrella Movement, have now been underway for 3 weeks. The protests began when China's central government proposed electoral reform, which disallows civil nominations. The Hong Kong police stated yesterday that the protest is, quote, out of hand and may be influenced by external forces from outside the city. Talks between Hong Kong's government and some of the protest leaders will take place tomorrow.
Harry Potter fans rejoice. Warner Brothers has confirmed that J.K. Rowling's spin-off of the acclaimed series, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, will be made into movies in 2016, 2018, and 2020. The trilogy will be an extension of the Wizarding world, but not necessarily a prequel to the Potter saga, although it takes place 70 years prior to Harry's story. Fans look to Twitter to attempt to decipher whether or not Rowling's hints at more wizardry were legitimate, but now we know for sure that our hopes and dreams have been confirmed. Now let's check in with Gabby for sports news.
Clemson faced Boston College Saturday at Boston College. Clemson took the victory over BC after the defense was able to hold the BC offense 4th down late. The Tigers were able to win 17-13, but the Tigers still seemed to struggle offensively. With Watson being out with a broken finger, Cole Stout started the game off. Stout was 29 of 45 for 285 yards. Other offensive leaders were Artavis Scott, who had 10 catches for 72 yards, and Mike Williams, who had 8 catches for 128 yards. Clemson's offense ended the game with a total of 398 yards against the nation's 8th best defense. The game went head-to-head until the last few minutes when the defense was able to hold BC to a 4th down to bring the Tigers to their victory. This is the 2nd game in a row that Clemson's defense saved the Tigers from a loss. Clemson experienced 2 injuries from the game. Freshman running back Adam Choice will be out for the year with a torn ACL. Also, Jordan Leggett suffered a torn meniscus that will put him out for several weeks. This weekend is Clemson's homecoming, and they will face Syracuse at 7 p.m. The Gamecocks were able to defeat Furman 41-10 this Saturday, but Steve Spurrier was not exactly satisfied with the way his team played. Offensively, Dylan Thomas rushed 18 times for 111 yards. He was 14 of 22 for 262 yards. Mike Davis rushed for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Davis went 100 yards for the 3rd straight game this season. The Gamecocks also had an interception and 2 recovered fumbles. Furman's Hank McLeod had 106 rushing yards, including 1 touchdown. Hunter Towns was able to put up 3 more for Furman with a 29-yard field goal. The Gamecocks were able to force 2 fumbles, which led to 1 Gamecock touchdown. What an exciting game it was for the Florida State Seminoles and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Seminoles defeated Notre Dame 31-27 after a very exciting ending. It was a head-to-head game against the unbeaten Seminoles and Notre Dame, and it came down to the last 30 seconds left with Notre Dame trailing 31-27. Notre Dame was able to make an early drive to put them at the Seminoles' 2-yard line with only 1 play to go. Notre Dame scored with Galston completing a pass to Corey Robinson, but the play was called back after an offensive pass interference was called on Notre Dame, giving the Seminoles their win over Notre Dame. Some other big news with Clemson. 2 former athletes from Clemson showed their stripes yesterday after having an excellent performance. Ben Martin, a former Tiger golfer, got his first PGA Tour win yesterday at the Shriners Hospital for Children Open. Martin topped his performance with a 45-foot eagle putt to put him in the lead. Also, Clemson's very own Sammy Watkins had an excellent performance yesterday for the Bills. Watkins had 2 touchdowns in the game against the Vikings yesterday, including one that with just a second left to give the Bills their win against the Vikings 17-16. That's all I have for your sports. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, you might not be able to watch those double chin selfies from your friends quite as quickly as before. This past weekend, Snapchat announced their plans to begin releasing advertisements in the app. The first ad release is for the new movie Ouija, which is set to come out on October 24th. This opens up a whole new way for Snapchat to bring in revenue, but potentially bring a whole lot of annoyance to this much-loved app.
The United States said last night that the military dropped weapons, ammunition, and medical supplies for the first time to Kurdish fighters defending the town of Kobani in Syria. The Kurdish fighters are defending the town from the militants of ISIS. The supply drops were made after at least 135 American airstrikes against ISIS, which has slowed the advancement of the militants.
Soon we might not have to feel sadness that some cannot enjoy the beauty of a classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich due to allergies. A scientist at the University of Florida has discovered that by shooting a peanut with pulsed light technology removes up to 80% of the substances that cause allergic reactions. This light technology can be up to tens of thousands of times more powerful than conventional light. If this technology holds up with continued testing, scientists believe that up to 95% of people with peanut allergies could safely eat products containing nuts.
Have you ever mistaken a jailhouse for a bar? Probably not, but a very drunk Michigan woman did. Early yesterday morning, 39-year-old woman was spotted backing into the jail parking lot. Deputy Robert Miersma says that he noticed the smell of alcohol and that the woman appeared intoxicated, so he asked her to take a breath test. The test showed that her blood alcohol concentration was more than twice the legal limit for Michigan, and she is now expected to face drunken driving charges.
Colorado might not be as weed-friendly as it has been over the past 10 months in the near future. Health officials are calling for a ban on all edible products containing marijuana. Hard candies containing weed would still be available according to this new potential ban. This desire for an end to legal edibles stems from 2 high-profile deaths that were potentially connected to marijuana. Lawmakers in support of this ban will obviously try their hardest to make their restrictions a reality, but this would upset a lot of Colorado citizens who voted to legalize marijuana in 2012. A big push for the legalization of marijuana was that the drug could be regulated, but making edibles illegal will simply put edibles back underground. It doesn't mean people will stop consuming them.
Dallas authorities declared earlier today that dozens of people are coming off the Ebola watch list and pleaded for compassion as those people tried to resume their normal lives. 43 people passed through a 3-week monitoring period without showing Ebola symptoms. These people had contact with Thomas Duncan, the first man to die of Ebola in the United States. There are still more to come off the waiting list later tonight and in the coming days. But for now, let's check with John Oliver for entertainment and Freddie for showtimes.
American Idol contestant Joanne Bergala died this past weekend at the age of 32 after a long battle with cancer. Her family posted on the singer's Facebook page saying Bergala passed away from endometrial cancer. Joanne competed on American Idol in 2008 where she was eliminated from the top 20. Before she began a singing career, Joanne was a model with Wilhelmina Models. Her family thanks all those who are keeping them in their thoughts and prayers. David Letterman's longtime cue card holder was fired after a scuffle with a colleague. Tony Mendez tells the New York Post he got fired after pulling at a co-worker's shirt behind the scenes at The Late Show with David Letterman. Neither David Letterman nor his production company has released a statement concerning this matter. Mendez says he shouldn't have laid a hand on his colleague and takes full responsibility for his actions. The New York City clinic where Joan Rivers spent her last days may close after a police investigation revealed serious deficiencies. Allegedly, the health investigation revealed the clinic was non-compliant in 4 areas and therefore had to shut down. The clinic has not released a public statement, however. Congratulations to Glee star Matthew Morrison, who got married this past weekend to his longtime girlfriend. The couple got married in Hawaii in the presence of 50 close family and friends. After the ceremony, his wife Renee performed a special hula dance, and I guess that's what the kids call it these days. Oh my gosh, in important world news, Kathy Griffin is coming to the Peace Center this Friday for a one-night-only event. The red-headed funny lady will showcase her outlandish and radical jokes at the show. If anyone wants to buy me a ticket and take me along as their date, just know that I would be so excited I'd probably pee my pants. We're good.
Hello, and welcome back to Showtimes. We provide you with all the important movie news from the couch to the theater. We cover movies coming to Redbox, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and theaters. Netflix came up short again this week with nothing big, and Amazon brought Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Redbox was the real breadwinner and has 2 comedies, Neighbors and Sex Tape, in stock this week. In theaters this week is the second big movie of Spooky October, Ouija. Follows a group of dumb kids who buy a dumb Ouija board and die, maybe. I mean, seriously, guys, don't mess with that stuff. Also out is Keanu Reeves and John Wick, following an ex-hitman that shoots probably a lot of people. Last of all, St. Vincent showcases Bill Murray chilling with the 12-year-old son of Melissa McCarthy's character and showing him the ways of the world. Still in theaters for those who haven't caught these gems are Fury, a more serious version of Inglourious Bastards, The Best of Me, a Nicholas Sparks book adaptation if you probably want to cry. Also in theaters is Annabelle, the Conjuring spinoff, and Gone Girl, whose reviews are still going strong. Thank you for tuning in, and watch next week for more updates.
Thanks, John Oliver and Freddie. Is your bicycle broken? Clemson Recycler volunteers will be spending the afternoon this Friday from 2:30 to 4 o'clock at the Holmes Hall Bike Fix-It stand to help repair your bike. Everything is free. Bring your bicycle by or just come stop by to see what Clemson Recycler is all about.
Clemson will soon have a new restaurant. Rick Irwins has decided to branch out from Greenville County and open a Clemson branch. It will be located near Patrick Square and Issaquena Trail. The restaurant will feature a menu very similar to that of its restaurants in Greenville. The restaurant is set to officially open tomorrow, October 21st at 4 p.m.
Come out this Friday to see the improv comedy group Mock Turtle Soup perform live. They will be performing a Whose Line Is It Anyway style performance in Lee 111. The show will last for about 2 hours with an intermission halfway through. Cost of admission is $5 or $4 if you purchase your tickets on Library Bridge.
Our football program is doing more than just bringing us wins. Dabo's All-In Team Foundation announced that it would be giving $50,000 to breast cancer research at the Institute for Biological Interfaces of Engineering, located on Clemson's campus. This grant will specifically support Dr. Booth's research project entitled Incorporation of the Anti-Cancer Agent Tannic Acid into Biomaterials Used for Breast Reconstruction. This research is very important to breast cancer treatments, as it could prevent the cancer from coming back after treatments. And Clemson is excited to be at the forefront of this kind of development. And finally, let's check in with James for your weekly weather.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at your weather for the rest of the week. As you can see, there is a 0% chance of rain every single day this week. We're going to have lots of sun, but it is going to be very cold. Well, if you're in New York, we're having a heat wave, but anyways, highs in the lower 70s and lows in the upper 40s. It's going to be pretty cold at night and pretty nice during the afternoon. Right now, it is a warm 63 degrees outside. It's partly cloudy. Winds out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour, and humidity is 61%. Taking a look at your radar, there's nothing in the Golden Corner area. Nothing's going to come in here later tonight. So we should see a very nice weather for the rest of the week. And now I went to Denver Downs this weekend, and I thought I was being stalked, but it was just the Colonel. I know my jokes are really corny. I'm sorry. Back to you guys.
Thanks, James. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Clemson.
Be sure to like our Tigervision Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night, Clemson.